SHIKASTA by Doris Lessing. She was Nobel Prize winner for literature, and this novel, SHIKASTA, one of 5 in the series of Canopus In Argos, was published in 1979. I read it then as a 20-year-old. It's a very hard-going account. And before we start reading a quick paragraph at the end of her first book, you need to know that Doris Lessing was under surveillance by the British intelligence for about 20 years. They did not like her views of the world, her reporting of what she's observing, and they were really scared of her. This was before this book was published, which was her final account settlement, really with the masters of this world. And so at the end of her book, she's in her notes where she describes the events that led to how this planet was colonized and what happened in the end days. And here there's a Chinese representative, probably one of the top 12 from Beijing. He's in Europe reporting back to Beijing. His name is Comrade Chen Lui, to the Committee of Public Direction and Comprehensive Coordination. I quote, "I have yet again to report hardship due to insufficient food supplies allocated to European sector. The levies on farm produce have caused the predicted passive resistance by farmers throughout the area. Over-order on the part of the local administration in fulfilling the laudable and legitimate demands of the centre is counterproductive. From Ireland to the Urals, from Scandinavia to the Mediterranean, the area for which I have the honor to be responsible, the people are suffering famine. I took the liberty of saying in my last report that in my view, the inelastic attitude towards the pan-European area is due to an unverbalized desire for revenge for centuries of colonial oppression." And then he goes on to talk about his experience, how he had to see through, on behalf of China, what amounts to a re-education program of the Europeans after what looks like a catastrophic event. Something happened in the account that led to Europe to live under famine. One could say maybe it was earth changes, but maybe it was also a higher force that had by then changed its genetics, because this is a story about genetics. And so this is one example of futurists. We also have Frank Herbert. You may have read Ong's Hat, the beginning, by Joseph Matheny with Peter Moon, although that account is real. Here we are still in fiction. I have a whole list of futurists. We'll go through one at a time in clips. Blavatsky, of course, Isaac Asimov, who worked at the Hudson Institute, Arthur C. Clarke, who wrote The Sentinel and then worked with Kubrick, Frank Herbert, Dune, Gene Roddenberry, Doris Lessing, we just quoted from, Krishnamurti, Kubrick, and then the 2 who are still alive, Felix Kaufmann and Dr. Heath King, who wrote Existence, Thought, Style. So we'll look at more futurists as we go into a series of futurists to talk about the big picture.